Hi, if you don't know me, I'm the Podcast Eddie. Usually on this channel, I upload my podcast, my streams, just things I do via me running my mouth like I normally do. But lately, I've been diving into the world of art, whether that be drawing, pixel art, trying to do background animations. And one thing that I like to do before I start drawing and getting a character made is I like to give them a backstory, because I feel as though if I give them a backstory, I have a little bit more idea of what I want them to look like. So over the last 2 weeks, I have been pushing out more and more characters to just sort of get my art bone going. And I made a video because I wanted to give the backstories of some of these characters that I have made for you. Now, I would like to remind everybody before we get deeper into this video, all of these characters are from only 2 months of me actually learning how to draw. I am in no sorts an artist with years and years under my belt, so take that with a grain of salt. For everybody who's new here, I'm Podcast Eddie. If you like the video, like it, show your friends, tell them, look at this. This could easily be made into a haha video. So without further ado, let's get into some of these characters that I've made. Now, this first one I made right here, her name is Bethany. Bethany is obviously the ugly duckling of her group. And her one goal, I wanted to do like a whole tournament sort of style where it was person dies and they get a little soul helper. Well, Bethany's whole thing to win the tournament is hopefully after she wins, the gods that have put her in this tournament will bless her with a husband. And her little helper there is a very pessimistic, like, well, hopefully you win this, because if you don't, I don't think you got much of a chance in the real world there, girl. I wanted to have the very witch-like features on there. We could tell by the gnarled teeth, the big nose. It's supposed to be a mole on the side of her nose, but it more or less is a piercing, I guess is how you want to put that. And I kind of gave her that little swoop right there for her belly. Like I said, this is very still me just figuring out where I wanted to go style-wise. Now this is Chad. Chad was someone who died in 2024, and he's that guy that you meet at a bike shop or a car mechanic place, where it's just very, like, I try and talk to you about new music, like tell you about new metal bands that I found that have came out, and his automatic response is, well, it's not Megadeth, it's not Metallica, it's not Anthrax, I don't care what this is. It all sounds like dog shit. He's one of those people. And his little helper that I wanted to have is one of those just angry little spitfires, which is why he has that flame. I wanted to draw him as a stick of dynamite, but I seen the candle look, and I thought that made more sense than having him as a little stick of dynamite. What I wanted to do was I wanted to give him that normal look that you get from people like this, that have the sideburns that go into the goatee-esque with this big fucking patch missing right here. I don't know why I did that, but this is definitely this was the first guy I made for the little creation that I have. I'm mostly impressed with him because he was the one that really started out with this idea. This is Steven. I didn't put a lot of work into Steven. I am not going to even front, because I was already 5 characters deep, and I wanted to make it 6 to do that even number. So Steven, this is him. It was the quick, simple, wop, wop, drew it all. Little track marks right there, because obviously the whole point is he is a druggie. He is a drug head. He's a heroin user, and that's how he died. The little helper, my thought process for his little helper is that he's the authoritarian, goes very by the book, doesn't deviate from the rules whatsoever. It is all straight by the book, and of course he gets stuck with the drug head who will do whatever it takes to get a quick fix or to get a couple bucks in order to buy things. I wish I put more detail into him, like maybe make his eyes a little bit more sleep deprived, a little bloodshot, But again, this was at 3 o'clock in the morning that I made him, and he was the very last one before I was done for the night. So I'll put a little bit more detail when it comes down to it. But this is Steven. Officer McFooknuke. Originally his name was Officer McFuckknuckle, but I felt that was a little too on the nose, so I switched it up. Or if somebody ever calls him by his name, they could be like, Officer McFuckknuckle. Be like, what'd you say, boy? And be like, no, Officer McFooknuke. How you doing? Officer McFooknuke is one of the best cops in the world. He is one of the best police officers to ever exist. He does everything by the book. He is celebrated around his community, does everything as they should be. He's arrested millions of people, has gotten awards for the great deeds he does in his community. His only downfall is he has the legs of a woman. He's got the beer gut, the hairy arms, the handlebar mustache, but he has legs of a woman who's been to the gym every day for the last 10 years. So that's his one downfall. But he did manage to score a raid back in 1995 where he dressed as a hooker, and they kept saying, wow, what are those legs? And as soon as they turn around, I'd be like, freeze, motherfucker. And now everybody's like, oh, that's a family, not a Family Guy joke. That's a South Park joke. Yep, exactly. That's what that was. Officer McNuke. This guy is probably the one that I am most proud of. It's because of just the little bit more detail than what I put in the other people. So because the teeth, the freckles, the legs, the head, there's a lot more detail put into him, and I'm a little bit more proud of him than the other ones. This one took a max of, I'd say, an hour to make to get everything right as I wanted it. He's definitely one that I would do more scenes with in the future. Oh, this guy right here. This one, I didn't really have a plan for him. I was changing my profile picture on Twitter, and I seen a pigeon, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try working on wings and legs, and a little bit of high heels. I want to see how this looks." Well, this is what happened. And I went to draw legs, and I was like, "How fucking funny would it be to give him leggings, like a pigeon just sitting there, like a normal pigeon, like ready to fight, and then he just has leggings on." So I tried it, and this is the ultimate design that stuck. I have no more to explain on this. I cannot expand on this anymore because there was really no plan with it except I just want to draw a pigeon. What I wanted to do was I wanted to make his legs more detailed, add the feathery look to his legs, but it just ended up turning into fishnets. So this is Jimmy and Gorlock the Destroyer. I was working on the design for the Bernie's cigarettes that I wanted to work on, and I was working on the 1930s-esque eyes and mouth. Well, I started working on that, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to draw a person because that's what I'm most comfortable with, and I drew Bernie and Gorlock. Well, I thought, well, I don't want this to be like, oh, he's behind me, he's going to eat me. So what I decided was Bernie had decided to make a deal with the devil. He made a deal that, because there was one day where it was hot in the summer and there were flies just all over him. He's sitting there swatting at them, pushing them away. They're all flying, buzzing around his face, annoying the fuck out of him. So he said, into the great beyond, I will sell my soul for all of these flies to get the fuck away from me. Well, little did he know that would actually work. And out from the pits of hell, a giant spider crawled out, all 8 legs, pulled itself out from the bowels of hell, and attached himself right to his back. And now he has no flies around him, but now he just has a giant, which it's not one of those, oh, nobody else can see it, everybody can see it. He's just got this giant spider that just hangs on his back and looks around. Yeah, I'm really proud of how the spider looks. I wanted to start working more on the mouth, like fangs, but it was, I think, 3 o'clock in the morning. I was burnt out for the night. So I just said, fuck it, and did the whomp, 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 whomp drawings. And that's how it looks like a spider. Like, you can definitely tell what it's supposed to be. So, and that's one thing I'm proud of, is the more that I do these, the more you can definitely tell what they're supposed to be, instead of just, that might be a spider, that might be a leg. I don't know what the fuck that's supposed to be, if you want me to be completely honest. But yeah, this was my first attempt at like a spider with a background character. For my last one that I'm going to show you all today, this was my first attempt at pixel art. You can kind of tell by the hat and the ears, but this one I was actually proud of, because it was supposed to be a normal face, like a normal, just regular ass pig. I was trying to make that, and then it turned into whatever the fuck this is. I have no backstory with him, because I really didn't know what I wanted it to be to begin with. So this is just what ended up happening, and I just call him my party guy. He's just the guy at the party that if it's not as fun as he wants it to be, he will judge it more than ever. That is all he is. So, those are all my drawings. I would like to remind everybody I'm still very fresh in art, in digital art, even normal art. These are all over the span of a week. These are ones that I've made in the past week and a half. Just doodle, working on it late night. I do like how a lot of them are starting to follow a certain style, a certain way of moving, except for the pixel art guy, but we won't talk about him. So please, if you like those, if there's any references you would want to point me to, any more that you would like to see backstories to, I would love to hear from everybody. Obviously, I don't want to be one of them fucking nerds, but if you liked what you've seen, like, subscribe, do all that stupid shit. And that's all that I got for this video. Everybody, have a great day, have a wonderful night, and please, as always, keep your balls clean.